it can be worn about 12 to 13 different ways. This is the full piece here right now. And this piece down here is a brooch. By itself is a brooch again. And this can be attached to this part here. That's another necklace. And this part can be worn by itself as a necklace. Or this piece can be worn. Here is the Challenger. I designed this after the Challenger disaster happened. And these pearls here represent all the projects that went up with the Challenger. And there are 7 pearls, one white and blue representing the American flag. And this represents the smoke when the Challenger went up. Now this smoke here will come off, they become a pair of earrings. Okay? And this comes off, sapphires, another pair of earrings. And maybe I can show this, but I can't find it.
Do you have the wrong pictures?
Pardon?
Oh, that's the wrong picture?
No, these are the right pictures. I just wonder what I have them. Probably they're not in this one. Now this one is the tornado that hit Huntsville. After the tornado hit Huntsville, I designed these pendant necklaces. The reason I designed this one, not because it was an accident, something bad that happened, because I saw so much human bondage. Everybody was helping each other. Neighbors were helping neighbors. People who didn't even know each other, they were helping. And that impressed me, so I designed this piece. And there are 21 rubies representing the 21 people that died. All these diamonds here represent all the people that got injured. These tiny little pearls here represent all the houses, cars, and buildings that were damaged or destroyed. And this part here represents Huntsville, because I feel Huntsville is a very unique city in Alabama. So I used the rare, natural color diamonds. And the pearls that go on the top, the pearls represent all the people that helped during the tornado. And this is designed after the Desert Storm. Last year, after the war, I decided to design this piece in memory of the soldiers that died, and also to commemorate how well we worked with the Allied forces. Here, I used the praying mantis representing the United States, because praying mantis is a good insect. He controls the growth of the harmful insects. And I'm paralleling with the United States, who is trying to balance the power at the Persian Gulf. And he's wearing a golden collar. This collar has red, white, and blue, red, white, and blue, representing the American flag. And he's pulling a travois. These harnesses represent, one side represents the American Army, the other side represents the Allies. They're working side by side. And these large South Sea pearls represent all the arms that was brought over there to be utilized. And on the South Sea pearl, there are lots of tiny little diamonds that represent the lives that the soldiers lost during this war. And because Huntsville played a very, very important role in developing the Patriot missile, so I made a Patriot missile here, and that is a brooch enhancer. Now this detaches, okay? This is a brooch that can be worn on the shoulder and can come down this way. But this part detaches, and one can wear this as a necklace, okay? Or you can detach down here. This is a brooch by itself. This pearl comes off, it becomes a pearl enhancer. So there are many, many ways one can wear this piece depending on the occasion, how you want it. Now let's move, and here we have some interesting gemstones. This gemstone here is tourmaline, and they are called the watermelon tourmaline. They are called the watermelon tourmaline because they resemble watermelon. And this kind of tourmaline is mined in Brazil and in California, San Diego. And it's also mined in Africa, but the ones that are mined in Africa, the color is reversed. The ones that are mined in Brazil is pink inside, a layer of white, and then green. The ones that are mined in Africa, the green is inside, then white, then pink. Okay? And that gemstone there is called the Venus hair. And we made the ring just to show how pretty it is. That's one of the wonders of nature.
I like that. It's neat.
Now this piece here, it is a pearl enhancer. The pearl can go through there, one can wear with a gold chain, and with that bar, and that gemstone there is called the kunzite. It has a beautiful, beautiful color, and it's called the gemstone of the evening because it looks the prettiest in a dark room. Okay? And that stone, its name came from Dr. Kunz. He was the gemologist for Tiffany years back. And he loved the color stone because in the United States, most people go for diamonds.
No.
And he was one of the first one that fell in love with all the color stones. He was always going out and looking for color stones. And when he saw kunzite, instantly he fell in love. And he brought this gemstone back to Tiffany. And every time he had an important customer come in, client, he would bring this gemstone out and show them. So he had a lot to do with this gemstone. And later, they decided to give his name to this stone. That's why it's called the kunzite. Okay. And this one is a simple citrine. Citrine is in the quartz family. All these are in the quartz family. A lot of people, they get confused. Sometimes they call this topaz, but this is a citrine. It means that was there. When it's formed, it can become purple, can become smoky quartz, or can become lighter color, darker color, very dark color.
I have a topaz that changes color.
Yeah.
The heat of my body.
I see. And this ring here, this ring has multifunction. It is a ring, but at the same time, let me find the page first. Okay, here is the ring, okay, and it opens. When it opens, one can wear as a pair of earrings, okay?
Oh my goodness.
And as earrings, one can wear it this way. You see, there's a earring with on the earlobe and have the hoop down, or you can turn it upside down and have the hoop on the top and the diamonds on the bottom. And then one can vary it a lot with other beads or pearls. One can put smaller white pearls or other rubies or sapphires. So this is interesting.
Do you sell this stuff to like Tiffany's or do you just sell it to people?
To people who know.
Just
who
call
know
you
it.
up and say,
they just drop
I
by.
want to.
Historical pieces and the ones that are won international award, they are just for people to look at them. Because people really enjoy looking at them. And so we decided that we are going to keep those pieces. In fact, like these few days, this came here, and we have people that bring their fathers from, they come from Germany and France. Their parents come and visit them. They come and they wanted to look at this historical piece. So I think
Good, we'll look forward to seeing.
Well, do you
Good
work
to
with
get
like a
the-
jeweler that supplies you with all these, or do
No,
you
no,
just
no,
buy
I
them?
design-
She
no, no,
is the jeweler.
Oh,
I
okay.
designed them.
She is the jeweler.
Well, how
And
do you
then-
get the jewelers? You just
Oh, the gemstones. I
Uh-huh.
go to Brazil and
Oh, okay.
I go to the mines. See, I grew up in Brazil, and I know I have several friends. They have mines there, and then I know a lot of people there, the stone cutters, and I ask them to cut the shape or the size that I want, and then I come back and I design something. For instance, this is a fun piece. This ring price, that gemstone is a green gemstone. A lot of people get confused with jade. They think, oh, here's a jade ring, but this is not. This is chrysoprase. And I designed it so that those two bullets can hang on the earring also. The bullets or the earring can be worn with the bullets. And that one is a pearl enhancer. Pearl can go through there, go the chain, or it can be worn as a brooch. This one, full piece of the
Capture picture.
right. So that's the Huntsville tornado, and this one you can see with
So
through
in the movie,
tornado.
isn't it?
Yes,
Yes,
right,
uh-huh.
right. And you can see the natural
Shows the
color
details.
diamonds. Right. You can see the natural color diamonds. That's a set. It's a pearl enhancer, and it's a pin also. So you can that piece you can put on pearl, gold chain, or wear as a pin. And back. Here is on the back there. It's coral. The coral will come off. So sometimes the lady wants to wear just the gold, and they can wear just the gold. And this work here, you can, if you enlarge, you will see tiny little gold round beads on there. And that work is called the granulation. The Etruscans, centuries ago, they did this kind of work, and they are famous for that work. And we like to do this because it looks different.
Oh, yeah.
Here is the desert storm, and you see where the praying mantis is standing. There are rows of sapphires, color sapphires. They're purple, pink, blue, yellow. And there's the 1 row, 2 row. The first row represented the trenches that the Iraqis dug on there to defend themselves. The second row represented the oil rows that they put there, they were ready to put on fire. And under the praying mantis, there's a triangular shape. That they also formed that defense line to defend themselves. But the Americans and the Allies, they were able to overcome all of that, and they won the war. And here we have a reindeer back there. It looks like a coach. This part is detachable, and that's a coach, okay? And this coach here can be put together with a chain, or pearls can go on there and becomes a necklaces. And the earring, you see this is related to the horse collar, okay? And this tourmaline can be worn in here or there. It's in there. It looks like this.
And the variation on
right
that.
now, it's and here it shows all the little gadgets that we made to make it work. Now this one is, I call it Reaching Out for Democracy. That's the piece that I designed after the Tiananmen Square. We watched that, and the first week we were so proud that it was such a peaceful demonstration. We said, then one day this thing happened, and that made everybody sad. Now there's a rose quartz. There's a bullet there. That bullet represents the first bullet that was shot at the student demonstrators. So you can see there's a gold cloth there, like the bullet went through, okay? And the hematite beads, the black beads are hematite. Those represent all the people that participated in the demonstration. They were not just students. They were factory workers, teachers, all kinds of people there. And there's a teardrop amethyst with the pearls that represents the tear that came down. The tears that we shed. And there is rubies there that represents the blood that was shed. And at the end of the bullet there, it's engraved the date when that happened, because usually on the bullet you can see on the shell there's the company's, I think it's the company's name on there, so I put the date there. And there is a diamond on that bullet. That diamond represents the first, their hope that's still there. And it represents the first spark that ignited the movement. But it was a sad happening. But on the other hand, we have to think about what happened with East Germany, because that was the ripple that went, and it happened very nicely. And then now, just recently with Russia, that was also a peaceful happening. There wasn't anything like this. But I think this was what started it. And here, this is a scatter brooch, so one wears two, one here and there. And this second brooch represents us. We watched this event happen abroad, and our tears came down. There's a green garnet there. That green garnet represents the democracy that we enjoy here. And hopefully one day
The world.
Yes, look everywhere. Okay. That's a gemstone, that's a loose gemstone that we have there. And here I'm showing a pearl enhancer, and this pearl enhancer in that video, I started from scratch. The TV station came and
That is it, isn't it?
that's it. It started from me doing
It
the
developed.
drawing
It
to
developed.
to the end. Now this here is a ring. Right now I opened it, and
How did you learn to do all this?
well,
Started in at the bottom and worked up.
this how to make a jewelry. The process I just read it from the books, but I have art. Now this is the ring, and it opens. I'm showing it open like that. Once it's open, it can be worn with pearl or gold chain.
Oh, isn't that beautiful?
Maybe we can even put this.
They don't have any idea
of
wouldn't-
what-
unless we do those pictures.
Maybe we can put
That'll
it right
Mhm.
behind it there, and then they will be able to see. Now, for instance, this ring here, this is a ring pendant. When one is wearing it as a ring, you can't see that it's a pendant, but it flips. Once it flips, it can be worn as pendant. And as pendant, there are 4 positions that the chain can go through here, and the chain can go through here. Now here is a watermelon tourmaline. You see the watermelon tourmaline slices, and this is a faceted piece. Here we have a green garnet. That's bicolor tourmaline.
I didn't know that came green. I thought garnets were red.
Yes, garnets are red, but nature makes them in green, in golden yellow, light yellow. Okay? And this one is a tanzanite. It comes from Tanzania. Now this one is an imperial topaz. Okay?
What's that one?
Imperial topaz.
Okay.
The last one is a real imperial topaz. Because there are too many citrines floating around that people call it topaz.
I never knew it was called anything else. I thought topaz is yellow.
Here we have the California earthquake. This represents the highway that
collapsed.
That collapsed. It folded when the earth folded. And on this highway, there are gemstones that were purposely broke to present to the cars that were damaged. And there are some that are intact because there were cars that were there and they were lucky enough nothing happened to them. Now this large pearl, a lot of people ask me, what is that? What does that represent? That represents a large truck that went almost, it just hung there.
Yeah,
And
I remember.
while TV and the newspaper showed that this all the time, so that impressed me. A large truck just about to fall off, and it was hanging there. So that part represents the truck. Now there are 67 tourmalines. Those beads, the colored beads, they are tourmalines. They represent the 67 people that died. I choose tourmaline because California produces tourmaline.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
All kinds of people.
Right. And those beads, the white beads and the gold beads, represent all the people that helped through that earthquake. And this highway, you can lift it up and you can see that underneath there are more cars that were there. Now this opal here is a very fiery opal. So I used that opal to represent the fire that swept through the marina center. And this here represents the water mains that broke and gushed up. So that's fire and the water. And this diamond here represent all the houses, the buildings, and cars that were damaged. And one can remove this opal, and that this opal is a pendant that is a tie tack. And there are several pairs of earrings there. That's a pair of earring jackets. There's a pair of pearl earrings, garnet earrings, and underneath there are some more earrings that goes with it. And on here it's engraved the time, the Richter scale, and the date happened. Here we have a special enameling process called the piqué à jour. That's a French name, and it means light of the day because this it's done on an open surface. Usually you see the cloisonné. The cloisonné, it has backing. You know, there's wire,
Yes.
and then you can put the enameling on there, and then you can bake it. But this is much harder to make because I put a little one there. You can see those wires. They are all hand soldered together, and there's no backing on there. So when I put the enamel on there, it's very difficult. They can fall off or they can pop, and it makes the job very difficult. And every little compartment is filled, and each one is baked at a separate time, so you can think how many hours of work it
Oh,
takes you
yes.
to fill up all those little compartments. And for instance, this is a necklaces. It has about a total weight of 1 carat diamonds on there, but the chain from both sides come off. Then one can wear the brooch as a brooch, and one can wear with pearls also. They'll make it a little bit flexible. Like this piece here, that's a brooch, that's another brooch. But when one is not wearing it, one can put this on a frame and just leave it as a piece of art and enjoy it, right?
I have a frame of butterflies. I collect butterflies.
Yeah, I see. Okay. Let's find the back piece here. I staggered.
I do it all the time.
Just before I show all this, you see this is the tornado, okay, and that's the brooch. That's when it separates, and that's the pendant. Okay. And this is the reaching out for democracy. That's the full piece, and the separated earrings, the separate brooch. Now we come to this. Piece here. This piece, I said that it can be worn many different ways. This is the full piece, and this one is without the arrow, okay? Without the arrow. Now this comes off, becomes a brooch, and this is the brooch without the arrow. Actually, I can put it behind
I put it so it wouldn't show you.
Right. And this is the pearl with the pearl brooch. And that's the pearl brooch by itself. That's a pearl by itself. And I'm showing some of the gadgets here that are designed because that arrow is just a visual effect. It looks like it went through the heart, but it didn't. Now, this gemstone, this piece here is a blue topaz, and it has a story behind it. I went to Brazil, and I saw it's rough. It was about this size, okay? But not the whole piece was nicely colored. Nature didn't make the whole piece
No.
dark blue. So it was just a small piece that was the darker with a heart shape. Now, this one here, let me find the folder. Okay, this one here, it's a diamond and emerald piece. It's a pearl enhancer. It's a brooch also, okay? And it can be worn with a gold chain. Or the emerald comes off, one can wear the brooch by itself like this. Then it will, when one wears an outfit, this color will be almost incorporated into it. Now this little piece can be worn by itself because sometimes we don't want it so regal. We can wear a smaller piece, and sometimes we are wearing something that needs a brooch. Then we wear the brooch by itself. Okay. And over here we have this. I love pearls, so this is some different pearls. That's called the blister pearl, and they are really very large pearls. And a lot of time people ask me, is this shell? I said, no, this is...
It looks like mother of pearl.
It looks like mother of pearl, but it is really a pearl. Here I'm combining large with the pond, and the small pearls are called the cashew pearls. They are like a natural pearls. And the body of the insect came naturally like that, and I thought it was looked so much like an insect body, so I made it that way. Now the pearl is the detachable. The pearls can be worn by themselves, and that can be worn as a brooch by itself. Or one can leave this on a coffee table, and it's a piece of sculpture. And behind that there is a little frog in the pond. Looks like he's trying to jump into the pond, and it's very whimsical. And sometimes if we want it to be whimsical, we can wear with the frog, but the frog comes off if we want to be serious, just wear the little pearl. Right? So.
I like that. That's cute.
And this is that large South Sea pearl necklaces. And you can see more granulation work on there.
Yeah.
Each little bead is hand put on there. Now let's walk around a little bit more.
This is pretty.
Now this piece is natural quartz. I see that Fabergé has a knife. A magnifying and glass that has a handle with the natural quartz on there, and it's carved. And that one is studded with sapphires. Here we studied these with all different gemstones. There's a green garnet, bicolor tourmaline, aquamarine, diamonds, ruby, amethyst. And this piece, I went to Brazil and I asked the stone cutter to cut for me. So after he cut these two pieces perfectly, I said, now give it back to me. Let me put some dots on here. And I said, now drill a hole drill all this hole. He said, what? After all this work, you want me to put all these holes on there? I said, yes. He said, what are you going to do? I said, well, I'm going to make a necklace. He said, well, just make a necklace like this. I spent so much time making it perfect. And, then he drilled the holes for me. And those gemstones, they will come off their earrings. Okay? Underneath each gemstone, there's 24 karat gold on there. And so one can wear this necklace, just plain quartz necklaces with floating 24 karat gold on there. And that centerpiece there will come off. It's a brooch by itself, and it can be worn as a pendant. Now, this piece here is a South Sea pearl. The drop is South Sea. The tiny little pearls on the top is called keshi. Keshi is a byproduct of cultural pearl. And usually when men cultural pearl, they put a seed in the oyster, and that will become the pearl. But the oyster itself sometimes produces these little pearls, these tiny little pearls. So these pearls, they are completely nacre. There's no seed in there. And they are beautiful, and they can be made into lots of beautiful pieces. And this piece I won international award last year.
Congratulations again.
Now, I guess lastly, we have to go to the little baby.
Oh, that's cute.
When I designed this piece, I always, before when I painted, I liked to capture things in painting, you know. And now that I'm working with jewelry, I try to capture things that impress me in jewelry. And I always watch the babies. The babies, you know how they are. They're playing with something, and if they see something better, something shinier or something bigger, they will drop whatever they have, and they will go towards that. So I designed this piece. He's crawling on a blanket, a gold blanket. Even the little stitches are in gold. Okay, if you magnify this, on the border of the blanket, that there are stitches of gold thread. And he was playing with all these little pearls, and then suddenly these large pearls studded with diamonds. He just quickly goes towards it, and then he has a mischievous smile on his face. Now this large pearl has the white diamond, and on the top of it is a natural pink diamond. It's just cute. And this piece is a shoulder brooch.
Conversation piece.
Conversation piece, and also it can be just a little piece of sculpture. I guess that's it, right?